Welcome to the Trailchasers podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. We love the Roadian MTX tires, and we're super happy with the way they perform. They are great on the road and absolute beasts off-road. Go to nexentireusa.com and get a set for your rig. The show's also brought to you by Icon Vehicle Dynamics. The Icon team takes a holistic approach to their products to ensure that all of the components work together so you get the most out of your vehicle. If you want to take your vehicle to the next level, go check out what they've got for your rig at iconvehicledynamics.com.
Today on the show, we talk to Luke Schnake with Ironman 4x4 America. He talks about being a worldwide provider of 4x4 parts, making an impact here in America. Then we get into Cody's shoulder surgery. Did he survive? Is he hooked on opioids? Let's find out.
Yeah, funny thing. Cody gets repaired and so does the Ranger. It's like the pets that start looking like their owners.
Dude, that sucks.
Wow.
That sucks so bad.
It's time for the Trailchasers podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trailchaser, get out there and chase your adventure. Trailchaser, our time is now.
Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
All right, everybody, it's 6:30 Monday night, and we are actually on time to this week, which is a surprise for us. That's probably due in part to our guest. We have Luke Schnake from Ironman 4x4 USA. How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you.
No,
thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. I appreciate this. You're helping us branch out to be a little bit more international and cultured. I think with the foreign accent coming in, it's going to help us sound smarter. Well, it's going to make you sound smart. Yeah,
I'll make that right.
Luke is from Ironman 4x4. So do you guys go by Ironman 4x4 or Ironman 4x4 USA here in the States?
America.
So the
America.
brand, like globally, the brand is Ironman 4x4. We just tagged America on the end, so people knew where in the world we were for this particular market.
Okay.
So yeah, the brand officially is Ironman 4x4.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know, Ironman 4x4 has been in the overseas markets, Australia specifically, for a long time. Luke, what's the background? I've known Ironman only from watching a bunch of YouTube videos. You see all those awesome Toyota Hilux.
I was going to say the Avengers.
No,
that's how I know Iron Man.
Iron Man is the Avengers. But almost every one of those Australian Outback Toyota Hilux with the canopies in back, you always see Ironman 4x4 and all of that stuff. So that's where I'm familiar with the brand. Tell me a little bit about the background and where the brand came from.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Hilux is an incredibly popular vehicle out in Australia, or actually around the world, pretty much apart from
everywhere
North
but
America.
here. Yeah, everywhere but here.
Yeah, pretty much. And the same with Land Cruiser 79 series, and actually the Ford Ranger, which Cody, you drive.
Yes.
Albeit the American Ford Ranger is very different to the international one, I'm afraid.
Better? Question mark?
Cody, where's your truck at right now?
Different.
We'll discuss that later, Jose.
Bit of background. So the brand's been going for 60 years, and obviously it was born in Australia by the Jacob family, and the founder, Gunther, basically he made his living, and his craft was as a blacksmith, and he kind of evolved into making leaf springs for Mack trucks and Land Rovers and all sorts of things for the Australian military. Oh. And then that just kind of, he did that for many years, and suspension was his thing. But then I think it was around the mid 80s, early 90s, where four-wheel drive kind of recreational vehicles came on the scene. And as that market exploded, the brand navigated in that direction, and obviously with the explosion of camping, overlanding, not overlanding is not really a term in Australia, but it's just camping.
It's called going to the store.
Yeah. The brand continued to grow with that organic boom in that market from the consumer. And again, it was predominantly in Australia, and from that base, Ironman's grown around the world in all sorts of other markets. So Australia is the largest market at the moment. Then you've got South Africa, you've got the Middle East. Russia is a pretty significant market. All sorts of countries throughout South America, and throughout all that time, there was very little presence of the Ironman brand in North America. And we, myself and a small group of guys, took it upon ourselves to explore this opportunity. And we equally, big fans of watching the Aussies rip around Australia, no matter what brand or show they are. And we're like, this looks fun. And we had a group of friends here in the US. We're all into really the outdoors, off-road, all of a different scale. And we saw this opportunity within the US market, and we knocked on the door of Ironman, and we're like, hey guys, I think we can make this happen over here if we team up. And so we got off to the races at the beginning of 2019, truly, where we start to build a team here in the US, and we've just gone from strength to strength. We're still, very, very young business, but we've grown considerably over the course of the last year, generating a heck of a lot of brand awareness, and now we've proven the concept, and we're laying down some serious roots, which is very exciting.
Yeah, and you guys picked the perfect time to start building a new brand and gain some momentum right into 2020, so that could completely drop out from the bottom. So
an adventure.
Yeah, and you'd made the comment about being outdoors and adventure more so than specific to off-road or overlanding, which I want to come back to later because of all of the stuff that Ironman 4x4 America offers. Like when you go to their website at ironman4x4america.com, there is an offering for all the vehicles, all the different things, all of the equipment, all of the stuff that you need is offered on that website. And I want to come back to kind of how that evolved over time. But let's go back to you for a minute. So you had this outdoor passion, and you saw a business opportunity. What was the drive there? Like, were you already into off-roading, and you were already a business owner, or how did the two connect?
Yeah, I grew up in rural England, so I was kind of born in the outdoors, albeit in a much smaller scale than here in the US. And my career before Ironman was working for an outdoor footwear company. For the most part, I've been into various different sports, but predominantly outdoor footwear. So I moved over to the US in 2015. I'd always had a dream to come to the US. It didn't matter whether it was for like a college scholarship for sports, or ultimately then kind of evolved into work. But I'd always had this dream of going to America, and just the scale of everything here is like, amplified way, it's just amplified significantly over what I'm used to in the UK or in Europe. So got to the US, and again, it was just my kind of personal passion has always been about allowing people to get outside, and lowering the barriers to get outside. It doesn't matter what it is. I've got no, I'm from a place in the UK which is called Yorkshire, and very like straightforward people. And a spade is a spade. Oh, hang on a second. Does that mean anything?
No. I know exactly what you're saying.
In poker, the ace of spades is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no pretense. Just help people get outside, and it was the same when I was with the footwear company, and I've always loved off-roading. We had Land Rovers back in the UK, and we used to do the equivalent there is, again, it's much more tame, but it's like green laning. Obviously you come to America and the trucks are like 10 times bigger and the outdoors is 10 times bigger. So, just in my nature to kind of get out there and explore. And while working for the footwear company, I saw the kind of off-road overland market over here. And then I saw like what you would call like the traditional outdoor market over here. I'm like, these people are the same. And what they're doing is pretty much the same, but nobody's kind of connecting the two together. There's very little overlap. So that got my brain ticking. I used to go to shows like Outdoor Retailer, which is a big outdoor show, which happens like 2 or 3 times a year, or used to at least. And again, I'd see this, and I start to see like the emergence of more and more 4x4 vehicles kind of coming into that show. And anyway, it got to a point where was kind of investigating businesses more and more and looking for opportunities in the outdoor space. It didn't matter whether it was an outdoor retail store or if it was an apparel brand. But I always loved, like I say, I always loved off-roading, and I bought myself a 4Runner. So I'd already put Ironman on my vehicle just from a recommendation of a friend. And that got the wheels turning even more. I'm like, okay, this brand is like, the product is super substantial, and again, it delivers amazing value for money, all things that made complete sense to me. And from a price point perspective and a quality perspective, there just wasn't anything else in the market. So that just took us down that road. Obviously, we started to investigate more and more, and that's kind of that's how really it came about.
What was the timing of that process? Was that like you thought about it 2 weeks later, you've got a contract in hand, or are we talking 6 months?
It was over the course of probably around about 4 to 6 months.
Wow, that's quick. That's a really quick like ramp up time to go, hey, I got an idea, and now you're working with this organization, and now
it was. I got deported from the US. Into Canada. I used to travel up to Canada quite a lot with one of the retailers that I worked with. And there was an instance where there was a visa communicator, like a visa issue, where I was going through green card, and then I had my L1 work visa as well. And for whatever reason, I had too many certifications for being in the US. And they didn't like that, so. They actually, I technically got deported, which sounds really dramatic, but it's not, because you just walk through one door in the airport, and then you're on the Canadian side again. But it was actually going through. Basically, I got technically deported, and I had nothing better to do for a week. So that really got the wheels in motion. And when I got back, then we kind of sped everything up.
Yeah, I have some friends from Australia that I used to work with.
Yeah, if you need to borrow a vehicle, Cody will loan it to you, so you can go to the
consulate.
Yeah, the consulate to get your paperwork.
Why vehicle?
That's what you did for your friends that were Australian.
You
let them drive into Mexico with your Tacoma.
I have some friends that I work with that were Australian, and for those of you that don't know, if you're here on a work visa, to renew it, you can't just go down to the embassy. You have to leave the country, turn in your paperwork, wait for a week, get your paperwork back, and then come in the country. Well, both of them had company vehicles. Neither one of them had a personal vehicle, and they were off-roaders in Australia. So they took my Tacoma, went down to Mexico, tooled around Mexico for a week while they were getting their paperwork, and then came back over. Similar to kind of your experiences. They had a week. They took the daughters down and had a week vacation while they were getting their paperwork in my truck.
Wow,
man. Awesome. I need to get my paper. I need to get some papers signed.
I know.
Just an excuse to get out there.
I need to get my papers signed in Cancun.
I just need papers.
Well, so with that, on a personal note, you sound like you have traveled to many places, and you said that you grew up in the UK. How many other places have you been in conjunction with Ironman 4x4, or where you've seen the Ironman products firsthand? Have you had the chance to go down to South America or any of those other places we talked about?
So I've not been down to South America. Obviously, spent a decent amount of time in Canada. I've been down. So head office is in Melbourne, Australia.
Okay.
So that's a pretty impressive place. the head office facilities there is something special. The design, the R&D facility that we have is world class, and the team of engineers that we have there we've got a specific suspension team. That's literally all they do. We've got a whole camping team. There's the vehicle accessories such as bar work and what have you. So all these different categories have got different product teams allocated to them. And then obviously you've got your fit test labs, and it's just like it's our kind of playground. It's like every corner you turn, it's like, wow. Like, wow. And then the parking lot is just full of all sorts of vehicles, both ones that we're used to here in the US, but those international kind of unicorns that you see every now and again, or you only see when you're at SEMA. They're they're kind of commonplace over there.
I want to know how I get a job on the camping team. Like, you just go to work. Imagine it's a warehouse with like dirt in one corner, and just like you set up your tent and you sit around the campfire and make sure all the gear works. That way, we need to figure that out. Yeah, that sounds like a horrible job. The camping team.
Yeah. Need to go and test the new rooftop tent. Okay, well that means we've got to take a trip out into the desert.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, so you're located.
This
up
overtime sucks.
Yeah, you're located up in the Pacific Northwest. Do you have much desert out there? I mean, most of your stuff is green forest, right?
Oregon's a really interesting state. It's got almost everything. So the Cascades kind of run down the center of the state. And on let me get my orientation correct.
The east side
is the desert.
Yeah, well, on the west it's heavily forested. That basically goes from the Cascades out to the ocean, or like right to the ocean. But then you've got a few decent areas of dunes out there. So there's Florence, and I think it's Winchester Bay. I was out there recently, which was epic fun. And then over the other side, as soon as you cross the mountains, then you get into high desert. And again, that's a very cool environment. It's very minimal rainfall. I think even just 3 hours from pretty much downtown Portland, you're in like the center of high desert, where you only get 10 inches of rainfall a year. And that comparison in the valley is like I think we get like 47 inches of rainfall a year. So such a small area, it's really diverse. And like I say, we've got some dunes and what have you. So it's good. We've got everything on our doorstep. And obviously you've got California to the south, and we've got Washington up north. So yeah, we get to play around in a little bit of everything, really.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Southern California is great for all the diversity and stuff, and we talk to other people in other parts of the country, and we always think, no one's got it as good as we do as far as diversity goes. But it sounds like you've got everything we do, just closer together. It's a lot.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case.
It's a lot farther for us to get to the forest and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you had said that you personally have a 4Runner. Is it what year's your 4Runner?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's an SR5, and then, like I say, as soon as I got it, I had that itch, even like going into it. I wanted to have a vehicle that I could accessorize and go on adventures in. So I put the Ironman Foam Cell Pro suspension kit on that, which gave it around about 2.5 inch lift, and those shocks are incredibly beefy, so I knew that they were more than capable of dealing with anything that I was ever going to put them through. And then BF Goodrich KO2 tires, Icon wheels, and then some other stuff. But it's slowly transitioned into pretty much a full-on Ironman vehicle now, since I started working for them.
Yeah. So in 2018, did they have quote 4Runner specific suspension, or did you have to buy for what the Australian equivalent was?
Yeah, so the platform for the 4Runner is the same as it's called the Toyota Prado, or the GX. I'm actually sat in a Lexus GX 460 right now. That's another one of the cars that I drive on a pretty regular basis. So they're all of the same platform, and that's where that's where we've managed to get the ball rolling in the US, because where there's been international overlap on vehicles. So Toyota is a great one because it's such a global brand. There is a good amount of overlap, and we've got suspension for Tacoma and Tundra. It very much it's very much Toyota oriented at the moment. There's some Jeep product in there as well, from I think like TJs all the way through to like we just launched Jeep JL foam cell pro and nitro gas suspension. But now that we've truly got our sights set on the US, we're doing a phenomenal amount of US specific product development. So the Ford Ranger, we've just launched a whole project with Subaru. What else have we got in the works? Jeep Gladiator.
Yes, Subaru. That was the
Ram.
Sorry to cut you off, but you were talking about Subaru, and Matt was just saying Subaru has been getting a lot of love lately. I've really seen. I think Jose was the one that called it a year ago and was saying that that adventure vehicle, like there was nobody that was taking hold of that mid-size adventure vehicle, and Subaru was starting to step up in that regard. And it seems like it's way easier now to go out and get a Ironman 4x4 America suspension system for your Subaru than it is for some of the smaller Forerunner, RAV4s or Jeep Compass or those kinds of things where, the Subaru has really found its niche in that smaller adventure vehicle.
Yeah, without a doubt. You look at kind of, I think Subaru as a brand have done a great job. I think the stat is that they're the most successful like SUV manufacturer in the world. Consistently been growing year on year on year on year globally, and specifically in North America. And then you look at where Subarus are sold on a state by state basis, and it's always where there's like Four Seasons, really. So strong in the Northeast, strong in the Northwest, strong in kind of the mountain states. Especially from a like an Outback, Forester, and Crosstrek perspective. And then you look at this Subaru consumer, and they've got Subaru as a brand deliver obviously great value in their vehicles, and they've got a really good like all-terrain system, they've just tapped into that consumer that wants to again just get outside. It doesn't matter if they're walking the dog or if they're going skiing or there's a good swathe of people out there in their Subarus that are truly like overlanding in these vehicles because they've got great ground clearance. They get good gas mileage. You're not necessarily going to do the Rubicon Trail in an Outback, although that would be quite fun to watch.
Dare me.
Right?
Challenge accepted.
There's the challenge. But again, how people get outdoors now, there's without doubt, there's a time commitment, and not everybody can take a week off work or 2 weeks off work. But for those mini adventures that are, and 80% of the population within the US lives in a city. So, the mini adventures outside of the city, like 2-3 hours. I mean, that's great for a Subaru customer.
Yeah. Well,
they're not going too far off the beaten track.
And I think the whether it be the Subaru customer, the Ranger, the Frontier, or the Land Cruiser, most of us don't have the second vehicle that's the off-road vehicle. We have the daily driver and the adventure vehicle, right? And that Subaru, so we have a friend of the show, the Trail Track on Instagram, Dre, he talked about how he bought his Subaru, and it started off kind of just as a good gas mileage vehicle, and then he started to realize he could take some adventures in it, and then he's just been pushing it more and more and more, and now you see him out there killing it. He's out in the dirt all the time. And that was just the evolution of a commuter vehicle that became an adventure vehicle. And now he's able to outfit it and do a lot of stuff in it. And I think for the majority of our listeners, it's people that are driving their vehicle every day and then going on those mini adventures 2 hours out of the city to get away.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, that's exactly why I got a Forerunner. And not everybody's gonna build a rock crawler or a expedition vehicle. That's those are the outliers.
Not
small. Yeah, they're the outliers. You got the mass amount of people in the middle that want to, get out camping and kind of just push the boundaries every time.
Yeah. And so let's talk about that piece of it, that mass amount of people and Ironman 4x4 America. So like we talked about earlier, the suspension kits are just part of it. And you've recently launched these adventure kits. Talk to me about that and like the driving force behind that new product launch.
Yeah, well, we cater. What we build right now is, cater, or what we've built today as truly being for a true 4x4 vehicle. And again, everything's built really with the mindset of Australia, where as soon as you get out of the city, you're in you can get really remote and you can get yourself in some serious trouble. So the product has to work. I mean, literally your life depends on it. And that's actually, we've got a really strong military division. It's the same concept. It's like, if you're there, this stuff has got to work. And we just basically took that concept, but we saw what was going on we saw that opportunity with Subaru. And again, there's already products in the market to lift your vehicle, but they're all with spacer lifts.
Okay.
So basically consumers are basically taking like a coil, and then they're using a stock strut, and then they're using a spacer.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great. It gives you the lift, but it takes away from it doesn't necessarily give you the performance and enhance the vehicle's performance, be it on and off road, and doing what we do, and the science that goes into suspension and trying to deliver more. We always try and deliver more. It doesn't matter if it's more education or more in the product. We always want to add value to what we offer to the market. So we saw all these people going outdoors in their Subarus. I was like, okay, so let's give them a true solution that delivers the lift, because a lot of people want the ground clearance and honestly the aesthetic, because they do look pretty cool. But then let's give them the performance element. So it's fashion and function mixed together. It's the aesthetic and performance, whereas a lot of what we see in the market at the moment is just aesthetic. So blend the two together and deliver a really compelling price point. So the all-terrain suspension kits are they're a true suspension solution where they've got an extended strut in all four corners. So you're getting more travel out of the suspension. You've obviously lifted the vehicle by 2 inches. So all the Subarus now have got, I think, 10.7 inches of ground clearance, which is really quite significant.
Yeah.
And then obviously the coils, suspension system works in harmony between the strut and the coil and all the other components that are in it. So again, by putting these things together, you can tune it to deliver the best vehicle dynamics, the on and off road handling that we're shooting for, carrying additional load and what have you. And then the shocks themselves they're a twin tube. So if you do take these vehicles into an off road environment, the nature of how that shock is developed is giving you more protection. It's more robust, it's stronger, it's bigger, it's got a bigger oil capacity, which means that you've got more longevity and endurance ultimately out of the product. So it's all those things kind of factored together, but really to deliver more and allow people to go further. And
I find interesting about that, it's so much of the growth of a brand of the vehicle is predicated on what aftermarket support is there. You look at the Jeep, right? So the Jeep comes out, someone builds a suspension system, someone sees it, okay, and you can start doing this. And not to belabor a point, but the Nissan Frontier, that's been the one hindrance of Matt is having to get custom suspension built and not being able to buy a lot of stuff off the shelf for the Nissan, right? Now with the Subaru and this type of actual suspension system, not just spacer lifts available, I wonder how much that's going to grow, how many more people are going to see those Subaru owners out in the world, and that's going to help grow the Subaru market.
Yeah, I think so. And also for me, I think this is like the gateway to getting even more serious, so that, the Subarus are one category of product, but if the end user like really starts to enjoy getting out there, and ultimately the Subaru might not take them, all the way they want to go, they've got an opportunity to then jump into a Jeep or into a 4Runner or into their, the Ford Ranger or their F-150 or whatever it may be. It's kind of we're just opening up the doors and again lowering the barriers to get people outside.
Yeah,
so hopefully, overall growing the market.
And you guys make products for most of those vehicles you just mentioned. I mean, when I look at your Fit My 4x4 on your webpage, it's got all of the brands. From
Frontier, we can definitely help you on the Frontier.
Well, you know what I had to do to get Frontier help? I had to come on this podcast for like 2 years and then keep begging and pleading for some help. Yeah. And then finally it came around. So, you do what you got to do sometimes.
I made him work for it.
Yeah.
I made him work for it.
Actually, I've got something that I've got something that I might send you. We've got a new product, which is sat in our office for your vehicle.
Because you can't find anybody with a Frontier?
we need someone to test fit it.
Oh, okay, there you go, dude.
Is it cool?
As long as it's pink and it's like very gaudy.
Pink. Yeah.
Yeah, pink and glittery. I think.
Oh yeah,
Matt's your guy.
Yeah.
So going back to those other brands, how many of those other brands, we talked earlier about the international market, but how many of those other brands that you're currently servicing had to be developed now? Like when you started the America division, I mean, have you been working on that continuously?
So they're all kind of in the works right now. The product offering that we've got at the moment pretty much existed, apart from Jeep JL. Actually, that's one of our latest products, and that's been developed recently. That the inventory literally landed about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We've been developing, we've got a whole line of upper control arms. They're called ProForge upper control arms. And that program's rolling out. We started with the 4Runner and Tacoma, and that's now evolving into other brands, other manufacturers, because they deliver, again, great value for money. And they're an incredibly stout, substantial product. And also like maintenance free, which everybody loves. So yeah, long story short, a lot of the current catalog did exist, but what you're starting to see now with Subaru, with the Jeep, and now everything that we've been working on over the last year or so is starting to land in the country. Okay. And that now that snowball has started, it's just going to grow and grow and grow. Like I say, we've got an abundance of products coming, and a good chunk of products for domestic vehicles as well, like your F-150, your F-250, your F-350s, the Ram, all that's coming to fruition pretty soon.
Yeah, and what we touched on earlier, like if you go to the website, there's a whole drop down for suspension. There's vehicle armor, which is bumpers and skid plates and sliders, winches, recovery equipment, snorkels, lights, electrical parts, drawer systems, roof racks, fridges, water tanks, and then a whole section for camping. I mean, this is like a one-stop. I'm going to go on an adventure next month. Let me just click all the boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It's again the premise in Australia, or how we go about a product collection, is we'll take a vehicle and we'll develop for that vehicle front to back, top to bottom. We'll give you the entire suite of products, for those vehicles, and that's ultimately what we're doing now in the US, which is super exciting. And then, like you say, there's all those other complementary products as well. So, if your suspension's the core, but then it's like, okay, I've got my suspension, I need to protect the vehicle, so underbody protection. And then it's like, okay, I'm going further afield, and it's a slightly different animal in Australia, because the bars are the bumpers are there actually like truly for kangaroos.
Wow.
I mean, truly they are. They're very, very functional product. But here it's a slightly different animal. It's more about, from an off-road perspective, it's about approach angle and departure angle and fitting your winch in there for recovery and all, and all. It's more about
and the random
more
tree
about the
every once in a while.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, saying that, there are a lot of deer and things around. So yeah, then you've got your bar work. It's right. Well, so if I've got the bar work, that means I need a winch. I've got the lights. So it all just kind of, they all make sense. Like all these packages kind of link together to build out the vehicle. And then outside of the vehicle, obviously you've got, when you're at your destination, if it is camping, then obviously you need all the gear. So it's all about comfort and convenience from that perspective. And
you guys have done just looking again at the site, you've done a really good job of creating a comprehensive catalog of for example, there was where was I just looking? Water tanks. There's a whole segment there on water tanks. I at one point was looking for a 15-gallon tank to put in the back of my truck for a trip. There it is. You know what I mean? Like all of the peripheral devices that once you start down this path of off-roading and then going on longer trips and then doing the 3-4 day overlandings and all of the peripheral components that go along with that, it seems like Ironman has really thought a lot of that out and found a way to provide that to the consumer.
Absolutely. We want to give the total offering and then provide really functional products, but then again deliver them at like killer value, so that everybody can use these products. So this is not a we don't want to exclude people from a price bracket perspective.
Yeah. And it sounds like, just based on our conversation, it sounds like you're very consistent with one of the things that we've always talked about, which is it doesn't matter what you're driving, just get out there and have fun. Like find a way to get out there and adventure. And whether it's whether you bought the Subaru Crosstrek as a family vehicle and now you want to get dirty, or you're building a rock crawler. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's all just go have some fun in the outdoors.
Exactly.
And so how often do you personally get to go out and use the products, like the off-road, the suspension you have on your 4Runner and the camping gear and stuff like that?
I would say the other guys in the office definitely get more opportunity because they're out shooting. They're out shooting. They're out doing the R&D and they're out shooting the content, and I'm back in the office doing the grunt work. I personally love getting outdoors. So every weekend we're out. Again, it doesn't matter if it's just an hour out and we're at the mountain, or we're kind of 3 hours away, further into the mountains. Over the course of this summer, obviously, it's been interesting with COVID and lockdown, but it's been the perfect opportunity to kind of get a little more remote. So, I've had multiple trips in the Lexus, multiple trips in the 4Runner, and actually, I think this summer, I truly got the family out, which was amazing. Like I've got a little boy now who's 7, so he's got to that age where he just loves it. He's into fishing and climbing and hiking and you name it. Loves his camping, and because we were able to, because we've got all these accessories with our vehicles, and we're able to make camping a more kind of comfortable and enjoyable experience, it meant that we got the family out, and then it meant that we got our other families that we work other families that we're friends with equally. We kind of got those into it, so it's brilliant. Again, it's this comfort and convenience from a camping perspective, is making it a family activity and not just me and the guys heading out on a trail and disappearing for the weekend, which equally love.
Yeah.
The first time I brought my boys are 9 and 11. The first time I brought them out and we did some camping, they literally jumped in the dirt and just started rolling around in the dirt. And then throwing rocks at stuff. And I thought, yeah, man, this is it. Just simple dirt. Yeah, they were super stoked,
Well, we've talked about it a bunch of times. I've got a 4-year-old. All of us have kids, and we've talked about how the more convenient we make it for the adventure, the easier it is to get the family out there, and the more that they're going to enjoy it, and the more they want to do it more. I'm looking forward to Presley getting past the age of Daddy, I don't want to go anymore because it's too bumpy, to her being 7 and wanting to actually be out in the dirt and playing
and throw rocks with her cousins.
And throw rocks at her cousins. Presley will throw rocks at her cousins.
Oh yeah, no, she's probably got a good arm.
Yeah, she will. Yeah. She's pretty good at So when you guys do that and you get the opportunity to get the families out, do you prefer like your overnight trips, or do you prefer multi-day opportunities to really put the gear to a test?
We're doing a bit of a mix, to be honest. We've had those impromptu kind of overnight 2-night trips, and that's where we started. So it was like, let's go and take a night out and see how it goes, because it could be an absolute disaster. Luckily enough, it wasn't. And then when you've done that first night, you're like, okay, so this went really well, but actually we could improve it by doing this, this, and this. And then it's like, all right, let's do 2 days. And then that 2 days turned into a week. So we've gone through the summer and we've kind of evolved with the family in terms of how we're doing these trips. But we're now at a point and we've got a few things planned, because the turn in the weather up here is certainly not going to put us off, because there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad gear or bad preparation.
True.
We've now got plans. In fact, this is kind of is with a family, but all of us from the office. So we've gone from a year ago, just a handful of us, and we've now got, I think we're now around about 15 to 20 people in the business, and that's growing pretty quickly as well. But we've got a staff trip out through Eastern Oregon and into the dunes, and then we're going to do all sorts of things. That's probably going to be, I think that's a 3 or 4 day trip. And then we'll just build on that. I've not done any like multi-week trips personally yet, but there are like as we recruit people into the business, it's really important to us that they've either got that outdoor mindset or they like truly do it. There's a scale. So there's a lot of the team in the office truly do this. We've got Bubba, who's got his rock crawling machine, and then we've got Chris, who's got his overland rig, and everybody's got like a Tacoma, a Land Cruiser, a Jeep. Our parking lot in the US office is turning into quite a spectacle.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I'm like, what kind of cars are in your parking lot, like from the staff? But you already answered it.
Yeah, and we love it. We've got a showroom at our office, and we absolutely love it when obviously customers swing by, and it might be for the very first time, but like seeing everybody's rigs is awesome. And we had a guy come around today, and he had this epic 80 series. It was an absolute beast.
You saw mine.
Yeah.
But what were you doing up there?
I took a detour from work today.
Well, I think that's important, though. I mean, if you're looking at an outdoor adventure company and everybody in the company is driving a Mazda Miata, I mean nothing against the Miata, but it doesn't scream I'm someone that lives the lifestyle.
Well, they didn't believe in the product.
Yeah. I mean, this is you guys are living the lifestyle, using the product day in and day out. So one of the products I want to talk.
Are you guys hiring?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I will move.
I'll move to Oregon.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
right now.
Okay.
If you guys will have me,
I want to talk about the fridges. So. I am recently a fridge convert. Like,
that's been a big issue, or not an issue, a topic. Like
we've talked about it multiple times.
A discussion point here.
And there was a period of time where I'm like, I can't ever see myself using a fridge. I borrowed one for our Mojave Trail trip. Now I need to have one in my life. Like having a fridge is...
And after I saw him pulling out like his food for dinner, like our second night, and it was all dry and cold and packed away.
Yep.
And I'm digging through my hot dog juice, slushing around in my cooler. Like, where's...
Oh, it's usually like soaked bread or something.
Yeah.
Well, I got smart this time, and I had my dry cooler, but you're still like... it's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know?
So my point is we are all, I think, now on board with the idea that fridges make the experience better. Tell me about your fridges, and like have you had a good response to them? Are they doing well?
Yeah, fridges are really popular, and it is an interesting one because, again, the mass market is so used to coolers, and then seeing like an electric fridge that you can put in your car is a bit of a foreign concept. But then when people see it, and then they use it, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is an absolute game changer.
Yeah, I have to have
So
this.
it's just about awareness of the product offering. And as soon as people find out, they're like, yes, I'm on board. So the fridges are a really popular category, and it's one that again is going to evolve over the course of the next 12 months. As we have got a real focus on the US, and we're growing the camping side of the business as well. So those things will evolve in terms of their feature set and their design. But they're great products. Obviously, they come in various different sizes. We've got like a 30 liter, which is great for kind of an overnight trip. The most popular is probably like a 50 liter fridge. It doesn't take up too much space in the trunk, but it holds easily a week's worth of food. And there are little tricks that you can use as well. So, because that's a single zone, but obviously it's always cooler at the bottom. So if you've got anything that's frozen or needs to be like really cold, put that at the bottom, and then you can like separate and then start to put the other things that you just need cool on top. Mm-hmm. And if you're taking the wife and she loves a bottle of wine will stand up, and all those things. And then obviously you progress into bigger fridges. So we've got a dual zone 65 liter where one side can be a fridge and the other side can be a freezer or a fridge, whatever. And then big chests as well. So and they you got all these accessories that come with them. So fridge slide, so it makes it easy to get in and out of. You've got covers, so it kind of insulates them. Fridges are a great product.
Yeah, it's something I never in my lifetime thought I would need until until awareness, until you use one time, and now every time we go someplace and I don't have a fridge, I feel like
now I just got to convince Monty to like let me buy one. Like, you bought a mini refrigerator, like, and that's the sucky thing is the fridge in my house is like on the fritz, and I got to try and figure out how to buy one for my truck.
Chop the fridge in the house down. When you buy a fridge for the house, take the one in your house, chop it in half, seal the top, and then convert it with a 12-volt, and you're golden.
And that's it.
I think that's a good solution.
Am I taking my half a fridge in my truck? Is that what
and then give me the other half.
Oh my God, that was too complicated, dude.
No.
No.
So what other product of all the array of products that you have? What other would you say is one of the more popular ones here in the States?
Well, suspension by far is our biggest category. That's the bread and butter of the brand, and that's what we're built on, really. Bar work and the winches are really popular, and actually things like awnings. Again, like the awnings are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what vehicle you've got. These fit on any vehicle, and you could have your Mazda. You could fit it to a Mazda. All the way through to a full size truck. Again, it's about the comfort and convenience. Rain, snow, sun. Just having that protection from the elements is, again, it just enhances your kind of camping experience. It doesn't even have to be camping. It might be you're out hunting. You're like prepping your gear, crack out the awning and just get some protection. And they deploy in literally a minute or two, and then they've got some cool little features. Like built-in LED light strips that are on a dimmer set, and a couple of other sweet features that just make them super easy to use and really versatile. So and they're also not particularly expensive either. You can get a 2-meter awning for $200, I think it is.
Yeah.
So no matter what you're doing, the awnings are incredibly popular.
Yeah,
there was a couple when we did our last trip. I can't remember their names, but within a minute and a half, they had this huge awning out. I mean, it was like 180 degrees of their Jeep, and I felt like introducing myself, like, can I come over and hang out underneath? Because it was 105 degrees, and they had shade.
It was Tim and Monica.
Yeah,
and they opened up their, I think it was a 270 degree awning, and boom, done. And everybody set up under there and had lunch.
Yep.
Another thing in the camping section, you've got cooking gear and tables and chairs and toilets and showers and all of those things that
I'll never come home.
Yeah, I was just gonna say all of those. All of those things, when you take your wife and little girl out in the Mojave Desert for a couple of days, those are all things that start to come and play. Matt and I were going to camp one time, and we didn't have chairs. We didn't have chairs. We didn't have firewood. We didn't have tents.
What are we doing here? Let's just go home.
Rocks. But those shower, those like we call them en-suites. So those like shower. It looks like an awning, but it folds out into like a cubicle. So that is, again, if you're taking the family, wife and the kids, that's great for them to get showering, get changed, go to the bathroom. It's just that privacy. It works for everything.
That's awesome. So I want to circle back to you a little bit, and I, thinking about how you grew up in Europe, and then you were always into adventuring and outdooring, and you wanted to come to America, and you come to America, and you find yourself at the center of an epic off-road outdoor brand. Like to me, if you were to like someone were to give you a vision chart and draw that out, it seems like a pretty good start and ending point. I mean, what's your...
Is that like doing drugs or something? Like a vision chart? What does that mean?
It's one of those phooey...
Do you have to do like
I don't want to? That's from The Secret.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I'd rather just do the drugs than that garbage.
So what do you think? What do you think was the most attributing factor to you going from where you were and to where you're at now? What was the big thing that got you there?
You stumped him.
Nobody's ever asked him that
probably. I think it's so easy to get in your own way and think about the what ifs, and it's like, if I did this, what if I did this? And I think as humans, I think there's a large percentage of people that I think it can be. I think for a lot of people, it's hard to step out of your comfort zone, and thinking about those what ifs. Well, what if this goes wrong, and what if that goes wrong, and what if that goes wrong? And my approach is like, screw it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But screw it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But at least I've tried, because I know that this is something that I really want to do. And if it goes wrong, at least I gave it a go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think it's really easy to err on the side of caution, and not move halfway across the globe, and not, take on big challenges and do those things.
Yeah, but his work is something, he works in an industry where he does it for free anyways.
Yeah.
So it's just like going to work isn't going to work.
Yeah, but how many of us and
we're all trying to get to that.
I was going to say us in this room and us on listening to the show have something like that, whether it be off-roading or podcasting or
whatever
biking, and you're, man, I would really like to find myself in a position where I'm engrossed in that industry, and it sounds like, his advice is just get out of your own way and go do it, which I think is commendable. I mean, it's, it seems like, it's one of those, you're not going to achieve your dreams unless you take the chances, right? The big risks.
Yeah, I would say somewhat a caveat to that is make like educated, somewhat educated or research steps. Still, get out there and do it. And I don't know, like from my perspective, always been like tuned into like just being very, very observant of what's going on, like in the market with product. I'm talking about me specifically, and always been tuned into the consumer, the user, because the customer and being at the this is a very British term, I'm sorry, but being at like the coal face with people that use the products is the best way for you to learn where the opportunities are from a product and marketing perspective, anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the parking lot at your office up there. Is the people that are building the product, looking for the next opportunity, the product, are the ones using the product. It just so happens they have to work for the company that sells the product as well. You know what I mean? It sounds like you guys are taking that to heart and really diving into the lifestyle, and that's kind of how you're building your success. What's the next piece? Ironman 4x4 America did the all-terrain suspension. What are you looking for on the horizon? What are the next types of things you're going to go after?
So we've still got a lot of work to do on just our core categories in terms of vehicle expansion. So we offer two different types of suspension, and the core components that are around it, like leaf springs and what have you, are all the same, but it's the shocks that are different. So we do a nitro gas shock, which is very similar to it's very typical. A nitro gas shock is pretty generic in the market, but we valve them and we valve and tune and use certain materials to try and make them our own, unique, and deliver a better experience. Then we've got a Foam Cell Pro, which is built like a battle tank. These shocks are really incredible, and that's a great concept. What they deliver they deliver amazing performance, again at amazing value. So we've still got to like get Foam Cell Pro and all of our suspension out into all these other vehicles that are in the market. We've got a host of like bar work, like front bumpers and rear bumpers coming for, again, a huge swathe of vehicles. We're really just going to keep on building on. We're really just going to keep on building on the core of what we've got. What we do right now. You're not really going to see any massive revolution in terms of product offering. It's going to be take what we've got, amplify it into more vehicles, and just keep evolving step by step. Not necessarily a revolution, but there's definitely going to be new fridges coming along. We're going to be expanding our awning offering. We're going to be expanding rooftop tent offerings. We had a cool meeting today about camping accessories and how we're going to evolve those products and make those better. All of the above, I guess.
I was just going to say, it sounds like you've got plenty on your plate for the next 5 years.
Yeah, we're just about to sign a new lease on a new facility that we've got here. So we've got. We moved. So when we started, we were in a very modest office and warehouse, and then we moved in July, and we moved in July 2018 to a bigger premises, and we're now at a point where we've got to move again. So we've got multiple warehouses at the moment. Going to consolidate all into one place, where we've got epic offices, a great showroom, we've got an install center, and then we've got a really big warehousing facility. And we want to make that place that, and unfortunately, you've got listeners all over the US. Anybody's ever up in the Pacific Northwest, come visit us, because we want to make that place truly a community, like a community center. For the not for the overland world, not for the rock crawling world, for everybody that loves to get out there.
Yeah, and you guys have done quite a bit on your social media, the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah. You've done a lot of live stuff that I've watched. You've done is your plan in the new facility to build out an opportunity to be able to do more of that?
Yeah, 100%. Again, like we're going to develop product with thought and value at mind, but then this is not just about selling gear. Once you've got your products, like, how do you get the most out of it? How do you install it if you're doing this yourself? So we really take care to try and deliver like great installation videos. If you've ever watched any of those with Wagner, we've just got another one under our belt. We're just trying to make it, again, easier for people to get out there, do this themselves. And that might be wrenching on the vehicle and getting these things installed, or it might be, here's an epic trip, through Southern California. This is what you need to go do it. Let's go do it together, kind of thing.
Yeah. And your guys' YouTube page does cover a large gamut of the products that you're doing. Not only just the suspension systems, but some of the accessories and the tents and the awnings and stuff. It's kind of that good complement to the one-stop shop we talked about with all of the products that you're offering on the website. You can go to the YouTube page and see, a bunch of the stuff that you're doing there, and go back and forth and go, yeah, that's the right awning for me because I watched the YouTube video about it, and now I know it fits. So, kudos to you and the team for putting those all together. I know how much work that is.
Yeah, it is, but we do really enjoy it. It's just making sure that everybody's got bandwidth to do it, because it can be a challenge. But layering on top of that, we definitely want to bring in more lifestyle. So we've got a saying internally, which is that our purpose is to equip and inspire, and that equip is equipped with product, but equipped with knowledge. And then the inspiration piece is something that we really want to build on over the course of the next couple of years. And that's the inspiration, again, to kind of step into this, but the inspiration to get out there and show people how to, go out there together on that journey.
I think that's something we all need right now, is inspiration to get out and do more. I mean, it's really easy to especially like for all of us that are, and I say this, that I think there's right now there's two groups of people. There are the people that have been impacted by everything that's going on in the world, and they don't have the opportunity to go out and do stuff. And then there's the ones that are still working and probably taking on more load.
You can go out and get a Frontier like really cheap and get out there and just four-wheel over some stuff.
We don't care. We don't care what you're driving.
Go to your local municipal park and just go do some. Am I condoning this?
I don't. Matt does not speak for the Trailchaser.
You know what?
Podcast,
just go do some donuts in the
LLC.
park. Nobody cares anymore. There's so much other stuff that's going on. Nobody's going to stop you. Just go do some. Tear up a ball field. Nobody's using it.
Nobody listens to Matt.
Views of and opinions of Matt.
Do not listen to Matt.
Nobody listens to me. Come on.
Well, quick, get him off the air.
I'll edit that out later. No, I won't.
Sure you will.
Well, Luke, man, I had been paying attention to the brand from afar, kind of watching some of the live streams that you guys were doing, and just getting the chance to talk to you really makes me feel good, even better about the brand and about how you guys are fully entrenched in the lifestyle, and you're trying to inspire people. And I think that it's commendable that you've taken this heritage and this long-term product and this brand and brought it to our part of the country, so that we can now all benefit from 50 years of R&D and outback abuse. So kudos to you for really driving that and bringing that out here. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And I hope everybody gets the opportunity to go to Ironman 4x4 America and check out their brand. Is there any place else that you want people to go to? Any traffic? I mean, you've got your
the website is a really good hub. Obviously, there are plenty of videos on YouTube as well, which we're building out on a weekly basis. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, so connect. Please connect with us. We're it doesn't even have to be about product. If you got any questions, if somebody's coming to the Pacific Northwest, or somebody needs advice about, somebody needs advice about equipment that we might not necessarily even sell, give us a call, because again, we've got enthusiasts within the business that love to, basically we love to help people.
Your Instagram page is super cool, with super cool adventure shots and all kinds of different vehicles out in the world actually doing stuff, and it's cool. I've been following it for a while.
And likewise, obviously, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Equally been following you guys for quite some time, and it's great that we've been able to have this opportunity to talk truly in person, rather than just over an Instagram message or over a text message. So I really appreciate it. And equally, you guys are doing what you do. You guys have been at it way longer than we have in the US in terms of helping people get out there and inspire people through your podcast. So that's what makes this community so awesome. And long may it continue.
Yeah, and so it sounds like we need to make a trip up to the Pacific Northwest to go hang out with these guys.
I don't know if I'm going to come back home. I'm telling you.
Sounds like a one-way trip.
That's right.
That's fine. And equally, we're going to be coming down your neck of the woods as well. Not only from a business, well, truly like a business perspective, but also we've got a lot of content to shoot, and that means exploring the US, and California is on our doorstep.
Well, we have a bunch of trail maps. They all include U-turns, but we have a bunch of trail maps if you want to borrow them.
Yeah, if you want a guide on how to look at things multiple times from different directions, we're your group of guys.
Yeah.
We could get you lost all over Southern California.
Yeah, but that's half the fun.
That is the best thing, isn't it? Just go out there and get lost.
Well, we're good at that. We're good at that.
That's just everyday life. For us.
Well, Luke, man, I this has been a great conversation, man. You're a really cool guy. Very inspiring to hear your story about, just taking on challenges and kind of a leap of faith to jump across the country, across the world, and do what you wanted to do. And I'm super impressed. And I hope that we get the chance to talk to you some more in the future, and definitely want to connect,
please.
At some point, whether you guys come down here or we find our way up there. But I would definitely love to connect with you guys sometime soon. With that, is there any other parting information you want to give out before we end your portion of the show?
I don't think so. Again, if I'm a rambler, so if anybody needs like some explanations about random words that I've dropped into this conversation, or if anybody's got any other questions, just feel free to jump out. Reach out to the team, reach out to myself. We're all here to help. And just keep in touch.
Awesome. All right, everybody, go follow them on all of the social media pages, and go to their website.
Go to the interwebs.
Ironman4x4america.com. Check out what they're doing. Luke, man, really appreciate it. You have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, man.
Hey, are you looking to upgrade your PC, whether it be for gaming or for video production or whatever your needs are? Go to evga.com and check out their products. They make top-of-the-line graphics cards, power supplies, gaming keyboards, audio cards, cooling systems, accessories, cases, motherboards, you name it, they've got what you need to build a PC. They've stepped up and helped us build a really solid machine for the streaming that we've been doing on YouTube. And if it wasn't for these guys, we'd still be fumbling around trying to figure it out. Please support them. Go to evga.com. At checkout, use the code Trailchasers, and you can get up to 10% off anything you purchase. So go to evga.com, use the checkout code Trailchasers to get a discount. Thanks, EVGA.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trailchasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. Thanks to Luke for coming on. You were just saying that you came across them when you bought the Land Cruiser?
Yeah, so almost 3 years ago now. So in February or March will be 3 years. But yeah, they were. I was looking for future modification for the truck, and they were one of the only ones that kind of had like a one-stop shop, right? Like they had bumpers, they have suspension, and roof racks and all that stuff. And no other company. It's a niche thing, right? Like the 80 series, the 80 series Land Cruiser at this point now. I mean, there are shops here and there, but they were kind of like the more of like the
more prominent.
Yeah. Or not just like a shop that does it like one-offs, right?
Yeah,
it's
more. They were
a
big brand name in Australia and overseas, and again, just when I first, I don't want to say first, but like I would say go back to 2014, 15 or whatever, when Expedition Overland was becoming a thing. And, and then I started watching more and more YouTube channels of overlanding. Like I said, every one of those Toyotas that you see in the Outback is sporting Ironman stuff. And that's where I became aware of the brand. And then I don't know when, it must have been on Instagram when I saw that they had come to the States, and I thought, oh, yeah, cool. Because when I bought the Tacoma, I looked at their products, but they weren't available in the States. I would have had to buy them overseas and ship them out. So, cool. I'm looking forward to having some more conversations with them.
But he's right about those Foam Pro Cell shocks, the black ones. They are very big. Like,
well, like I said, they're military.
so you look in the picture, you're like, oh, it's just another like monotube or whatever. But then you see them on the truck, or I actually saw some in real life. I'm like, wow, they're like almost 2.5 inch diameter.
Really?
Like shocks.
Wow. Yeah, they're
a lot bigger than you would think.
That's what people say about me.
And the shocks are big too.
Jose asked earlier where my Ford was. So Wednesday.
I guess. Go ahead.
Wednesday. Well,
It's a note to surprise for Matt.
I think you'll like this conversation. So Wednesday afternoon, I knew it was.
Isn't that sad? Like you just anticipating how happy I'm going to be that something's wrong with your Ford.
Well, whether it be my Ford or my body, I know if there's something wrong, you're happy.
Yeah, these are good days.
Good days. So it's easy. It's easy.
2020, 2020, coming around.
One of the best years for Matt, dude.
Coming around right now, guys.
You've had a lot of ammunition.
Today.
So Wednesday, I dropped off the truck at a local Ford dealership,
Junkyard.
the local Ford dealership, because I had two issues. I had a vibration in the front end since the Johnson Valley run. And I did some investigation a little bit. So it wasn't like the vibration was worse at idle. Then when I started driving, it wasn't as bad. So I was able to rule out the tires and the suspension. I'm thinking like a motor mount or a U joint or something, because if I just put my foot on the brake and left it on idle, I could feel.
But if it would be exacerbated if once you started driving, if it was like
hold on, give me a minute. I gotta Google that.
You would think that's what threw me off. And then
especially if it was a motor mount or a U joint, it would only get worse.
You would think, yeah. One of the skid plate right in the front was bent, and it was kind of bent up from that last trip. And I thought, oh, you know what? I bet the skid plate is touching
the frame,
the engine, and it wasn't. I could get my fingers in there, and to be honest, this was last week, and I could barely crawl under there and with one arm try to figure it out. So I just screwed them and take it to the dealership. So I took it for that, and then I don't know if we ever talked about it, but you've both of you seen it in the truck. The passenger side window in my Ford was distorted.
Yeah, it's like riding
a funny car.
Yeah, like you're looking through a vortex or something of distortion.
Yeah.
Is that I just thought it was like a time.
I thought that was accepted clearance from the factory.
I just exactly. Either that or there was like a time distortion on the other side of the glass.
So much so that like it would make Tammy sick sometimes. She couldn't look up. But like I'd be making a left-hand turn or something. I'd look out the window and there'd be a truck that looked like it was 2 inches tall because it was so distorted. Like, oh, that's a cool car. Oh, that's not as cool. Never mind. So I took it in for those two things. I dropped it off Wednesday, and I told them, look, if you have any information Thursday or Friday, call my wife. After that, I'll be available. So I ended up calling Saturday afternoon to say, hey, what's going on with my truck? And the chick that answered the phone was like, oh, I don't know if anybody's worked on it yet. I'll have to have someone call you back with a status. And I was like, wait a minute, you've had this since Wednesday. What's, please call me back. Nothing from Ford on Saturday. They were closed on Sunday. I called this afternoon and she was like, well, it looks like the only thing they have left is the window. I'm like, well, does that mean that they fixed the vibration? She's like, I don't know. Do they have a timeline on the window? I don't know. I'm like, you've had my truck for 5 days and the best I can get from you is I don't know. And so somebody named Victor is supposed to call me tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to give me status on the truck. I mean, it seems like
You're gonna be like, we don't have your truck.
Well,
anymore.
When I called.
God, you can only hope that's what happened. Oh, we're sorry, sir. We were test driving it and we wrecked it. Oh, that would be a blessing for you. You'd be out of that loan. You'd just be out of that mess.
Just give me a chance to get something new. I mean,
Subaru, here we come. Woo!
Yeah,
Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah,
Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I'll do the.
What would you get?
You know what it's like to be the tip of a spear, bro? It's pretty awesome.
Well, it's a double-headed spear right now.
Yeah, it is now.
There's not enough room. There's not enough room on that spear for me. You guys have both ends of the spear.
We could be a trident.
No, you have both ends of the spears taken care of on that side. No room for me to get on that. I'll tell you. You guys could have that.
You and Casey could share one end of the spear.
To answer your question, Jose, I have no idea. Like I said, like we talked about, I think it was last week, if the 2021 Frontier or 2021 Bronco were available today, that it would be probably one of those just for the sake of it. But I don't see. Hopefully tomorrow they have some information on the truck and I can go get it back.
Should I ask what Ford dealer it is?
It's a Ford dealer local to my house, south of my house.
Oh, south. Okay.
I don't know that one.
There's only one.
I don't know that. Well, I know there's one down there, right?
I know Sunrise and Citrus.
No, it's neither one of those.
Yeah,
that's north of the house.
Yeah. I don't know the one you're.
This is one town south. So we will if they do a good job, maybe we'll talk about it next week. Yeah,
hey guys.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You made the Ford drivable again.
I don't want to. I don't want to trash him
guess.
on the show without having a full understanding.
Nobody cares.
Of
Even if you, I think about that. Like, you know what, guys? I'm really upset. I'm going to trash you on my podcast.
You just
go ahead.
You know what that's
go
like?
ahead.
That's like the South Park episode where Randy Marsh is a food critic for Yelp. Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh, everywhere he goes, he's he's like being super snobby at restaurants because he's a food critic for Yelp. Everybody's a food critic for Yelp. So that's
pretty much, yeah.
That's we'll see what happens with the Ford. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have some information and get it back. I think step one is just get it back. Hopefully it's fixed. And step two is that it's fixed. A couple of you are asking in the chat room. Yes, surgery was Thursday. I am alive. Unfortunately for most of you, I am not on drugs. I've been able to wean myself off of it.
Wow. When did you stop doing drugs? Cody, when did you stop doing drugs?
So I started doing drugs Thursday afternoon.
I don't know when you start. When did you stop?
I started Thursday after the surgery.
What was that like for you?
I do not like coming out of anesthesia, man. It is.
You look great Thursday morning.
I know Tammy posted a picture of me Friday morning.
Oh my God. I told Monty, I'm so jealous. Look, he looks so rested.
You were in another galaxy.
Thursday I was unconscious or barely conscious most of Thursday. Friday, I took the pain pills that they gave me kind of like almost every 4 hours. By Saturday morning,
I was out.
No, by Saturday morning, I stopped taking them Saturday morning. I took some Saturday night and Sunday night to try to go to bed, but I've been on and today I've only had like one dose of Tylenol. So I'm super, super surprised. I thought that I was going to be in horrible shape. I'm super surprised that I feel good.
Well, it went well, right? The doctor was like, we were able to restrap everything back.
Yep.
They found all your parts and pieces.
Pretty much most of the parts. They found them, put them all back together.
Did they have to put any dead person ligaments or parts in you?
I'm going to assume yes, based on the conversation we had prior to surgery. But I have a follow up with him. I'll find out for sure. I don't know.
You probably throw like 95 now.
Well, I just figured if I have enough surgeries, eventually I can replace all of the original parts of me with something better. Anything's better. Anything's better at this point.
Yeah.
So the hard part now is going to be the 8 weeks of being in this
So it's like you and your truck are like under warranty. Are you still under warranty? Is your truck still under warranty?
Truck is still under warranty.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, truck is still under warranty. I think my warranty expired several thousand miles ago. I don't.
That's right. You got a lot of hard miles.
I don't think anybody will warrant this physical body.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But you go to like a nice hospital, right? They do good stuff. Are you a cyborg now? Oh my God.
So Mud Raider, I had to sign a consent form before surgery, and they go through all this stuff for surgery, and they include this term called allograft, and the allograft is the insertion of cadaver tendon, and I was like, yeah, for sure, I consented to all that stuff, and he was going through it, and I was like, look, dude, what if you've got titanium.
I'll take anything you got.
Experimental. I said, I am consenting.
You
to
got
anything.
stuff that's not even past FDA.
Yeah, I told him. I said, if you're looking to experiment, I'm your guy. Like anything that will make
If you got to run to Home Depot really quick,
Yes.
that's fine.
Just dump it in.
Buy
I'm
some
good.
quick set or something.
It's like he said, dump it in there. Just whatever.
Let's see what happens. I'm all about trying to experiment with my body. Which is so I wish I was a cyborg now. Now I'm just a broken old man. That's all
man. Cyborg. I can't
That was
wait
such
for
a
that
good
techno.
movie, dude. Did you remember that movie?
Is that the one where
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
and he fights Ivan Drago?
Is he the bad guy in that movie?
That's the one where they're both like army guys. They're dead army
No, that's
dudes.
Universal Soldier.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of the same, no?
No, he made a cyborg movie where he's like a ninja. It
A
was like,
ninja cyborg.
yeah.
dude. How do
Did he end up ruling the Earth? 'Cause
No, because he was just like wandering around and then
What?
getting into fights with like the
Random
Victorville
dudes?
people.
What a waste of a story. Hey, you know what? Let's create the greatest character anyone's ever thought of. And then what does he do? He goes to Barstow and he gets
bust up some meth heads?
he gets into some bar fights.
Yeah, but
Well,
think,
that's what I do. Who cares? Nobody wants to watch that shit, I can assure you.
think about Jean-Claude Van Damme at his prime. That's like Bloodsport. you
Go
know,
on.
With a ninja sword and a sword.
Of course. And his sword.
Yeah.
Mud Raider's saying that I should sell the extra pills for the fridge. That Percocet probably has a good street value. You guys would know.
The streets are flooded with them. It's not,
These days.
you're not pushing anything rare, dude.
Yeah, everybody's got some. So that's, I mean, it's, I'm learning how to, do everything left-handed. Oh, I would like to, I would like to make a shout out to the guys over at Shower Pouch. We've talked about them multiple times on the show. We've had them on the show. So after surgery,
We've used their product.
We've
use their
used their
products.
product.
After surgery, they were like, okay, you can't take a shower for 3-4 days or whatever. You know
They
what?
came over and they were going to help you with your
No,
shower?
no. I had shower pouches left over from my last trip, and that has been. I don't know if they're anywhere near the medical market, but the post-operative shower pouch is a huge market because it's like,
Oh, wow.
you're already funky. Like, you know, you took a shower the night before, the night I had to take one the night before with some special soap, and the day
Every time
day
I
of-
come out of like anesthesia, I feel a little funky. Like,
feeling
what's
funky.
What happened to
and,
me?
And you know, you're
a little cloudy.
you're on drugs and the whole thing, and like,
Yeah.
and like, you know, you want to be
Strange
comfortable.
people.
I'm telling you, the shower pouch.
No, Jose.
You guys are killing it. The shower pouch has been a great savior in keeping me clean over the last 3 days.
Like a handball court over there. Like, dude, I'm throwing stuff at you and it's just dropping.
Anyway,
All right, so back to
my
shower
point
pouch.
is
The shower pouch.
shower
was-
pouch has been great over the last 3-4 days of keeping me clean. I think tomorrow's going to be the first shower. So we'll you know, it's been a good 4 days with shower pouches, and thank you to the shower pouch guys. I appreciate it. It's they've helped out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just one of those things where, like, I was kind of dreading it, like, you know, okay, well, you just use a wipey or whatever. And then I went, wait a minute, and I went to my duffel bag, and I had shower pouches left over, and I was like, yes.
Can you imagine? Like, I would just sit on the couch. I'd just be so depressed. Like, oh, honey, you need to take a shower or something. You know, like, hint, hint. You're starting to stink up the house. Just whatever.
Well, the last, so
Starting to?
yeah, started to, yeah.
Even more so than normal.
On Thursday afternoon, all day Friday, and all day Saturday, I've got this thermal cool machine that I'm hooked up to. So there's this strap that goes around my chest, and it's got this pad on my shoulder, and it hooks up to a cold water pump, and it pumps cold water through this pad. So instead of using ice packs, so literally 8 hours a day, I've been sitting on a couch just icing my shoulder the whole time. And so I'm just literally sitting on the couch watching TV.
I'm pretty jealous. But it just, like, what other kind of hokey stuff are they charging, like, your
It's like,
insurance company?
yeah,
that's
dude.
like 10 grand, probably.
It
At
was
least 10 grand for a rental.
no. So the insurance
Undercoating
do you get
on
to
the East
keep
Coast
it?
cars.
So the insurance didn't cover it. And I was like, I'll just ice it. I'm just not going to get it. And then, because the doctor ordered this sling thing, which the insurance covered, and then the thermal cooling machine, but insurance didn't cover that piece. So I was like, no, I don't need it. I went to work and I was telling my buddy about it.
Because Kaiser don't have that shit. I guarantee you, dude.
So
that sounds like rich people stuff.
They have it. It's just used.
Yeah.
Slightly used.
They have to pull it off of a cadaver. So I have a buddy at work that wrecked his arm, and I was telling him about this thermal thing. He's like, get it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'll just ice it. He's like, no, Cody, I swear to you, it's worth every penny, and I've used it multiple times since. So we talked about it. It was a couple $100, but I got it, and I'm so thankful that I got it. Like,
a Ziploc bag and some ice.
So look, I've hurt myself enough to use ice packs. I have like the cool like rubberized ice packs. Like I have.
But can you strap it to different parts of your body?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a universal pad.
If it's just for your right shoulder, it's like, well, yeah. I mean, you'll probably use it in a couple of months again.
No. So the pad itself.
Knowing you, but
that long.
The pad itself comes out of the shoulder strap, and you can wrap it anywhere. It's a universal pad, but they do sell ankle specific. Like you can buy an ankle boot that it slides into. You can buy an elbow.
So the machine is one thing, and then you can get different components.
But you don't have to use the sleeves. You can literally just wrap it around the injured area and use an ace bandage to hold it in place.
What is it, like a refrigerator or something?
So you put ice, you put a little bit of water and a bunch of ice in this sump, and it pumps the ice water over the area and back out. So it's a constant flow of cold water.
Yeah.
So instead of just like ice resting on one spot.
Okay, I was going to say like $200 sounds like pretty cheap for some kind of like refrigerated.
No, it's not refrigerated. The guy said they do have like higher end ones with timers and all kinds of stuff. This was just literally like the ice water will stay cold for 5 hours, but you have to refill it a couple times a day.
Could you cool some of Jose's Coors Lights with it? Maybe
you could. You could. Well, here's what you should do: is you put the water and the ice in it, throw a couple beers in the top, and then while you're getting your therapy, you could just reach in and pull out a freshie. Wow. You don't even have to get off the couch.
Jose's already shopping for one.
You can get your cold therapy and the freshie all at the same time.
Nice.
So that's been my life.
That Coors Light could actually be doing something good for you. It could be cooling that. You know, if it was ice cold Coors Light, you make sure you put it in that sump. It's got to have the Blue Mountains. Then you put it in there. I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know if it's ready without the Blue Mountains.
Exactly. But that way you know, and then you know you're getting some cooling on your shoulder or whatever. That's pretty creative.
Look, I thought about taking him drinking this week just to see if I could, but I decided to watch.
Taking Jose drinking this? What?
Taking up drinking to see if I can start. I'm off all week. I'm off
the Percocets and
mixing. Yeah, you're gonna go
a couple IPAs and one of those.
Yep.
You look like when you got home from your surgery, just laid out. Or typical Saturday for me.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be off all week, but of course my phone started ringing today for work stuff.
Turn it off.
Dumb. Couple things. We are 1.5, 2 weeks away from Kessel Run.
Jeez, man.
I know. So again, I will be at the Kessel Run, will not be making the actual run, but starting tomorrow, I'm going to be putting together some planning. So if you have not already signed up for the Kessel Run, go to trailchasers.net, sign up for the Kessel Run. I will send an email with all the details. I'm going to get started on that tomorrow and get that all planned out. I've been talking to the LGECTS team about some of the other stuff going on, so we are going to coordinate with them. Yes, Mark, I should be Bubble Boy. And by the way, Bubble Boy is a fantastic movie. If you've not already seen Bubble Boy.
Isn't that John Travolta?
No,
it's Alec Baldwin.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, the original one.
Oh, I don't know.
Jake Gyllenhaal was.
The Jake Gyllenhaal. I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal that did that one was fantastic, hilarious, so hilarious. Oh, my wife is so upset with you.
With me?
With you.
Yeah.
Why? So she has not been listening to the show recently. This week, she had to take my daughter to my in-laws' house.
I'm like, what did I say?
And she went to this. Anyways, so she listened to the show, and Casey made a comment.
Oh, that's right, dude.
Casey,
that's right.
Casey made a comment on chat, and I thought it was Napoleon Dynamite. You backed me up on that, and she almost divorced me because it was Wayne's World.
I don't remember the quote. What was the quote?
I do not remember, but yeah, she.
That's right.
She was so disappointed that she was married to me. I mean, that's common. Like that's a normal thing
That
in
was
our
just
house.
one more,
that
thing
was
to add
just
on
one
the
more
list.
reason. She loves Wayne's World, and for some reason, I did not recognize that as a Wayne's World quote, so I almost got divorced for that. So if you have not already, go to trailchasers.net, sign up for the Kessel Run, and then also while you're there, do the survey. We went through some of the survey questions last week. We're getting some more of those in. I want to get another batch, and we can talk about them again. Did we get, Jose, can you check to see if we got any new reviews?
Yeah, check right now.
I think we did. If you have not, please feel free to leave reviews someplace.
Still no emails about investing or love advice.
No love advice.
No.
Nobody's.
No. Not after they heard, not after the wives episode. Like,
Yeah, they heard the wives episode and they were like, these guys don't know nothing.
yeah, these guys are morons.
Which is an accurate statement.
Okay, so yeah, we do have.
Okay,
We do have.
go ahead. I'll let you read it.
So it's titled "Great Funny Podcast." It's from Crawl Dad 22.
Okay.
So like a crawling dad. Crawl dad?
Crawl, like KRAWL?
Yeah. C.
CR, so like a rock crawler?
Yeah.
Okay.
But seriously, did Matt's mom get run over by a Ford? Remember, people kill people. Fords don't kill people. Give it up, man.
Did Matt's mom get run over by a Ford? No. You know what? Everybody's got to have their something.
I think that the big three thing was when you only had like 3 trucks to choose from back in the day.
back in the day, you had to choose a side,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. Just I think actually that for me, I've always been like I like the underdog or the counter culture thing. Maybe like I was into alternative music. I didn't like.
Did you have
popular
like
crap.
a Cure hairdo or like flock of
I didn't
seagulls or
have-
something? Can
no.
you imagine?
Yeah, no,
Can you imagine Matt?
He had like red.
Yeah, can you imagine Matt like a?
Yeah.
Take it out of his face every day, like.
Well, that was just because I couldn't afford haircuts, but so by default, I guess. But yeah, like, so I always liked alternative stuff. So Ford being Ford, that might probably play into my anti-Ford. I personally, like I said, I don't have any like bad stories about Ford. For 20 years, I drove a Ford work truck, either an F-150 or an F-250. I never had any. I never had one problem. It was just a work truck that worked. It worked good. It was just kind of boring. When I got home, I owned a Chevy, so the Chevy seemed like a funner truck to me. But
Okay.
that's it.
All right. So, well, thank you, CrawlDad22, for the review on Apple Podcasts. We
I'll let the Ford family know that you stuck up for them or whatever. I mean, whatever.
so you are still, Matt, you are still on for the Kessel Run, right? Everything good for you? Yep.
It's at the 17th through 19th or something.
18th, 19th, yeah. And we're talking about somehow getting out there Friday to stake a claim. So we have to figure that part out. And you still are a no-go. No-go.
I'm out.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Just leaving it out there. We'll have to have like a big November trip so Jose can like.
Essentially I'm like the next month. This whole month is like it's just gonna blend together because it's just like work, study, go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's what it's been like.
And then right
past
after
few
that, it's house.
Yeah, and then I gotta move, and then
So maybe beginning of December, we have to plan a Jose stress relief trip. Well, that'll be time for the winter expedition. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do with that. So we'll get that planned as well. But all right, well, You know, I was really happy with the conversation with Luke. That was a cool guy, cool conversation to talk to. We didn't have a whole lot of other stuff to talk about tonight. Just other than, you know, the update on me being dumb and my situation.
Oh, just real quick, the Nismo thing.
Oh, that's right. So there was the announcement that Nissan is re-releasing a bunch of Nismo products.
They're doing something. Look at that.
Yeah, so they are sponsoring a team from the Rebel Rally. That's the all-girls navigation race.
Yep.
They gave them a 2020 Nissan Frontier, but Nismo is back in the off-road game, and they made some products that are going to be available for the Frontiers and Xteras, but they don't even make the Xterra anymore.
Well, it probably just happens to bolt up.
Yeah, it does. But so yeah, they have a cool front steel bumper, which is cool.
It is cool.
Winch capable, and
It's got a
off-road
couple
lights.
lights on it. Yeah, looks good.
It looks really good.
Look really good on my truck for sure.
They have a set of Nismo suspension. I think it's a 2-inch lift, and they're Bilstein shocks, remote reservoir, front and rear. And then some Nismo wheels. And then 4wheeler.com has a cool article about the team and then the truck. They go into detail about the truck, but it's just kind of cool. When I saw this come out, I texted the guys and I told them, I think this is what the next 2021 Nismo truck is going to be. They're going to have like these options on it.
Yeah.
And just with the new updated body style.
Yeah. I think this is their effort to start the buzz about the Nismo stuff. That way, when they roll into 2021 and release the new Frontier, all of that stuff's in place instead of, oh, here's a truck, but you can't buy any parts for it. Yeah. And then 2 years later going, oh, here's some parts on the truck that you're now over, you know.
Right. You can already get that steel bumper with the winch, you know, you got the lift. That's pretty much all you really need right there. You can get after it. Exactly. I think that's awesome. It's exciting to see Nissan do something, you know, in the field.
In the off-road field.
Yes.
And I think they're priming the Frontier for, if the next gen Frontier, which is supposedly coming out soon, like they're going to release it, I think they're priming themselves up for all, you know, this, like Matt's, the previous gen. They're going to show that it's you know, bang for buck, best value, and now they're going to have these parts that it just, you know, that you can bolt on from Nismo.
Yeah.
So,
well, what's crazy?
the secret's going to get out, I think.
We've talked about this so many times. I mean, the path to success in the off-road market is so easy for them to be like, oh, let's do a head-to-head competition with the TRD off-road.
You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
You are the underdog in every single
they can easily
matchup.
Here's your Toyota for 45. Here's our Pro 4X for 35. Let's go up a trail. Like, they could do that all day long, and they're just not doing it. But
and I think like the magazines and the YouTube channels don't make the comparison with the Frontier anymore because it's been essentially the same truck for, you know, 15 years.
Yeah, well,
So that's why they're not going to bring it out anymore. And
it will make it on the it should make it on the 2021 4x4 of the year test.
It should,
because they only test at major iterations. Like, they could have done 2020 because of the drivetrain upgrade, but in 2021, if they do a 4x4 of the year, there's no reason why that Nissan can't be in that. Mm-hmm. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a.
I just thought it was really cool that they're back in the off-road game, and I'm telling you that I think the secret's going to get out on the Frontier sooner than later. You're going to start seeing.
I hope it does. I really do. I really hope that the 2020 and 2021 get the recognition that it deserves as a very viable off-road vehicle, bang for buck. You combine that with the buzz that's going to be around the Bronco, and then Jeep trying to keep up with that. I think that'll be the hard part for Nissan. Is you're going to have Ford and Jeep.
We're going to have the TRX coming out in December.
So you're going to have Ford, Jeep, Dodge playing at this level
because right now Toyota's stagnant. Like they've done the same thing.
Well, and that's a big bite that Nissan. Dude, with a steel bumper and that look right there,
yep,
from the factory, that right now, if I were in the market, that bites into the Toyotas pretty hard because you're already getting. You can't buy a Toyota from the factory that looks like that.
Not with the steel bumper, no.
No. So,
yeah, so,
and it comes out and it actually performs. You know, it has all the numbers. You know, as far as that drivetrain is great. Yeah, and then you know, it puts Toyota on their heels. Maybe, you know, I mean that sounds crazy, but at least it can probably get a good market share or hopefully spur. Again, like the old, you know, my truck, you know, and those sales and aftermarket parts and the whole scene, you know.
Yeah, 2021 is going to be interesting, especially, you know, not only with all of these products that are coming out, the shift in, you know, where are we going to be at in the world with unemployment and economics and politics, and I think 2021 is going to be it's
like a pivot year.
It's going to be.
You say Nissan's going to save the world?
No,
by having an awesome truck. You know what? Now I think about it, I agree with you. Good for you. Kudos to Nissan.
Nissan's going to save the world.
It's definitely a pivot year. Like everything. There's so many.
Well, because there's been so much stuff that has been halted this year, and so much stuff that's been pent up, and people losing jobs and changing jobs, and you know. If we can get over the hump, get into 2021, and now those new products, those new vehicles and new products are available to us, and people are in a position to be able to buy, it's going to be floodgates. You know what I mean? And so whoever does the marketing, puts the marketing dollars to get out in front of the eyeballs of those people that are ready to make the buy. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, Ford and Dodge and Jeep are going to be marketing up here at this level. They're going to be, they're already doing it on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
In order to get there, Nissan is going to have to just on steroids market that frontier to get up there. So, you know, I
think that's we did a story last year or the year before. We were talking about tire sales and how it's all crossover vehicles and trucks now. The sedans and small cars they're disappearing. So
yeah, I mean Ford doesn't even make a sedan anymore.
Exactly. So this is the time.
Yeah,
you know, if they're going to make a move, the pivot point. Yeah, I agree.
Pivot year. All right, well, we're going to pivot out of here. Thanks again to Luke for coming on, and thank you to everybody that joined in the chat room. There's still a bunch of you here. John's here, Mud Raider, Duty Driven.
I think I saw Josh back there.
Did you?
For a while.
Oh yeah, Hop Hunter was in there. Yep.
Yeah.
Dave.
Where's he been?
I don't know. You work with him.
He works in
Austin. You know.
Like the Orange County area, they don't let me in there.
No,
I gotta sneak in there.
You're not worthy. Tim, we had a bunch of people in here tonight. Appreciate it, you guys. Again, when I do interviews, I try to pay attention because you guys rip me too hard, and it's too hard for me to concentrate. So thanks again for joining us tonight, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Next and Tire. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DIRT. Thank you to Ryan Torina with all of the music.
There was someone that asked. There was somebody that asked earlier. Come on, Jose, it's time.
Fuckity and shit.
I wonder if I have to mark the live stream as explicit now.
That's funny.
You guys are f***ers.